Now that I spent all that time on the chessboard, I want to make a nice table for it. For the border, I'm using 3-inch cherry, mitered at the corners. Using pocket screws, I make sure to keep them back so I can clip the corners. Using a 1/4-inch thick walnut, I make the trim for the edge of the top. I run a bead down each side and a 1/8 inch groove down the center for a maple inlay. Now I'm putting a 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch quirk around the outside of the frame. After mitering the trim to size, I use packing tape to hold the parts together for gluing. The tape acts like a hinge. Now for the table sides. I run a rabbet on 4-inch wide maple to accept the 1/2 inch bottom. After cutting out for the drawers and test fitting, I again use the tape to hold the miters together for gluing. After the glue is dry and the tape is removed, the sides are sanded. I use pocket screws to attach the sides to the top frame. I add side supports for the drawer slides. Now for the pedestal base. I glue up 4 4-inch by 4-inch maple posts. It's nice to have a powered workbench. I dress them down to 4-inch by 4-inch, and then I cut them to length. Using my table saw sled, I set 2 stops at a 5-degree angle, and then I taper 2 sides of each leg. Now I run 2 1/8-inch grooves down the tapered side of each leg. This will be for a walnut inlay. Then I use a 1/2-inch roundover bit on the outside corners of each leg. To tie the legs together to make a special pedestal base, I route for a plate in the top and bottom. I add a stop block to the inside of each leg. To attach the pedestal to the base, I'm using hanger bolts, using a plywood template so I could drill the base later. Now for the floor plate. I'm using the same shape as the top, only smaller. I don't want to see any end grain, so I'm mitering a drop edge on all sides. Again, I'm using packing tape to hold the miters for gluing. Now I'm adding walnut inlays to the top of the base, using a template with a guide bushing. I also run an inlay around the edge of the base. I run a 1/4-inch roundover on the top and the bottom of the base. The negative parts left over from the board inlay will run up the center of each side of the pedestal. I plan to have a light inside to shine through the cutouts as an accent. For the drawers, I'm using 1/2 inch solid maple with dovetail. To give the drawers a more delicate look, I'm rounding over the inside and outside. For the drawer runners, I'm using Blum Tandem full extension self-closing drawer slides. They are the top of the line. I'm recessing the light transformer to fit into the base. For the lights, I'm using a flexible LED strip. It comes with a remote control, and you can have just about any color or intensity that you want. Now for the feet. After cutting walnut blocks to shape with the bandsaw, I taper the 2 sides on the chop saw. Using the air sander, I shape the feet to give it nice rounded edges. After attaching the feet with glue and some screws, I use a maple plug as an accent. I add threaded inserts so I could have adjustable leg levelers. I run the same beaded trim I used on the top down the sides to frame in the drawers. For the drawer fronts, I plow out for more of the silhouettes. I cut the walnut at the bottom to form the drawer pull. On the 4 corners, I'm using a larger version of the silhouettes. I'm using threaded inserts so I can bolt the top to the pedestal base. In part 3 of this video, I will be doing a hand rubbed high gloss finish.